these kinds of roles that you see. And all of those are in high demand, not just within science and engineering, but within media and communications and medicine and consumer products. And I think you guys already know this, and that's why you're here. Whenever trying to build new competencies around AI and machine learning and advanced development, you need to have a lot of different skills. This is not just a field that has one particular skill. And some of these, what you're going to be exposed to are skills that are methods and skills that are around certain software and the libraries. Statistics as a, and statistics are, we're going to give you a background in more of that and understanding probability, a little bit of linear algebra. Python, we're going to be doing a lot of coding in. Over on the far side, if you see Numpy, Numpy is one of the science and math libraries for Python. And that's used extensively in the work that we do in Caltech, and not just our group, of course, the larger institute. And if you go to the Numpy website, there are 2 case studies that you'll see on their homepage. One is how they use the tools within that particular package to do the imaging of the black hole, M87, by Dr. Katie Bowman's group. Dr. Bowman lives in my building right here on campus. Her team worldwide worked on the imaging of M87, I think in 2019. The other case study you'll see there is for LIGO, which is Gravitational Wave Observatory. That was also invented, initially theorized and invented here at Caltech by Kip Thorne, who got a Nobel Prize. So these are the kinds of tools and skills that you can use in any kind of commercial business, but also if you're in science and engineering, that really want to do breakthrough things. And we're going to help you get there. I'm going to stop right now. I want to get a sense of who you are and what is it that you're looking for. And Stuart, can you help with the poll?
Yeah, I've got the poll open now for people on WebEx. If you're watching on the streaming services, you can put your answers into your comment or chat boxes. And we'll leave the poll open for about another 20 seconds. And this is really to ask you about why it is that you haven't yet found a program like this that fits your needs, why you haven't done this, taken that step yet. So select 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of the reasons, depending on what applies to you. And here's the result. The streaming people can't necessarily see it, but 60% of the audience says they don't have the kind of practical exposure and experience that makes them feel confident that they can claim to be an AI and ML practitioner. And then 43% say they can't find a program that has a comprehensive curriculum. So, Mike, we'll start the discussion about that.
Yeah, so that's important. It's not necessarily a surprise because we've developed this program along with Simplilearn in order to meet the needs of those issues. Are there free resources that are out there from other platforms or on YouTube or even edX, even Caltech edX? Can you learn that way? Absolutely. Is it the best way to do that and reinforce learning through practice? It can be a bit inefficient. But what we do in this program is use that flipped classroom model that we're going to give you, and you'll be able to work through projects during that. You'll have access to the platform at all times. And it's set up in this way to also meet the demands of people who are fully employed, who are either looking to create new skills or invest some time to upskill what they're doing. You may have a little bit of background in machine learning and quant type tasks. You might already be an Excel jockey. This is going to take you to the next level. But we do it to try to help you fit the demands that you have in your life already. At the end, you'll get a certificate from Caltech. Like I said, this is about 6 months. There's a culminating kind of project at the end, a capstone, which we'll talk about in a minute. When you've successfully completed everything, there's not necessarily a test at the end, but there are certification steps along the way. You will also be able to access some elective courses. We've teamed with IBM to offer kind of a deep dive into Python for data science. In this, you'll be able to join in some masterclass sessions, which are monthly with either a Caltech instructor, also an IBM instructor, and do Ask Me Anything sessions. You have any kind of question, bring those up. Understand how they are applying machine learning in different cases and scenarios. In the end, you'll also get what are called CEUs. These are continuing education credits. This is important for employers who may be reimbursing you for tuition. They might be funding this program for you. This is very common in the US. I think most people on this call, this particular bootcamp is for a US audience. The CEUs that you're going to get, you tell your employer about that, you show them the dates of the program, and that's how they'll typically fund the tuition for you. 22 CEUs converts to 220 active learning hours. That's why it's a 6-month program, 10 to 15 hours every week. The 22 or 220 hours, that's just active learning. That's the amount of content that you have, and in the lessons, if you're doing stuff on your own, that's even extra time. So as you think about putting this program into your life, you need to plan around it. The live sessions are meant for you to be there. You need to engage in order to get the most out of this. So this is an investment, and you're going to be greatly rewarded. So with the certificates, you get the continuing education credits. You can join a private LinkedIn group for all the Caltech CTME grads and certificate holders. And then we'll also have a convocation event online where you can be a part of that experience or that and maybe recognized for certain awards. All right. You probably know who Caltech is, just in case you don't. This is the California Institute of Technology. We've been around since 1891, and we're a science and engineering private institution with engineering and applied sciences, which is my division. That's where we are. That includes everything from computer math sciences, electrical engineering, civil engineering, structural, aerospace engineering, and so on, and medical engineering. We also have physics, math, and astronomy. You may be familiar with the Jet Propulsion Lab, or JPL. We run that for NASA. There's bio and bioengineering, chemical and chemical engineering, and humanities. And guess what? Machine learning is used in every single one of those fields, every single one of those disciplines, in academics and in professions. So what Caltech does is excel at taking computer and math sciences and computational thinking, match it up with a field, and really drive kinds of brand new results. And we've chosen to create these kinds of boot camps to help intermediate learners build out new ways to help advance their careers and do it in a way that's kind of very fun and instructive. On this particular program, I already mentioned we teamed up with IBM. They're going to be providing some of the content. Earlier I said this is an intermediate class. If you are just beginning and you're fresh out of school, you don't have a lot of work experience, if you've got a programming background, could be Python, could be JavaScript, could be Java, C++, the more you have of that, the better. But you need to have some background in that and statistics to join. This is a program that's also designed for adult learners. We need people you don't have to go to college, but at least be out of high school. And if you've got work experience, that's even better, because then you can understand the context for how some of these things are going to be applied. So those are really the prerequisites. So, Stuart, we've got another poll on people's experience level.
Yeah, related to that last slide, just like to get a feeling for the level of experience of folks in the audience. How much experience do you have in the workplace? Not necessarily in AI and ML, just general working experience. It's open for about 3 more seconds. And it's a kind of a split distribution. So you have 40% of the audience, about 2 years or less, almost 40%, 10 years or more. So it's the interesting program because it addresses both of those levels of skills or levels of experience.
Yeah, for the people who are putting in more than 10 years, put in chat what kind of roles you have. So it's not that we haven't seen this kind of distribution before, but I'm interested in the kind of roles that people have had. Were they in development, or were they in general business, or something else? I'll look at the chat a little bit later, but would love to get a sense of where folks come from. That's great. So if you are coming into the program and you need a little bit of remedial work, you haven't been exposed to Python, you're going to have the ability to get some of that through some of this particular course. If there are other things that you need, Stuart can also recommend some to you, but we'll talk about how the program really prepares you. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Stuart and let him walk through those.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and take the control of the slide deck.
Okay.
So I'll be showing from my side. And here we go. So we'll talk about how the program prepares you, and we'll do a description of the learning environment. The learning environment is online. It's delivered through your device. So most of the time you'll be using a laptop or desktop web browser, because you'll want to be able to see more of the real estate while you're going through programming examples, that type of thing. Very difficult to do on a handheld device. But you can use your handheld device to do the preparation work, looking at the pre-recorded video components of the program that get you ready for each class section. The class sections happen on the weekends in 2 4-hour sessions, one on Saturday, one Sunday. And this is a live virtual classroom environment. As Mike said, flipped classroom, where you're all watching the instructor and interacting with that instructor live. You're also able to interact with your peers in the class through chat, and you're able to follow along with, do the exercises with the instructor and ask your questions live in that session. That will set you up for the work you do in the rest of the week. Labs and projects that you do, again, in the same learning management system environment on a Jupyter lab platform, gives you access to all of the tools and libraries that you need to do the projects and labs, does the assessments, keeps track of your progress through the course. And as you go through each step of the curriculum, which we'll talk about in just a second, you unlock the next course as you complete the one you're in. So finishing one course lets you then move on to the next in the sequence. This is important because the sequence is designed to build up your set of skills in a stepwise fashion so that you're prepared for the material by the previous courses you took. It all leads up to a capstone project. We'll talk more detail about that in a few moments, but that's where you work with your instructor as a mentor, and you get to solve an industry-aligned problem and create a solution that you can then add to your personal portfolio. Example of your actual working experience in the field. So along the way, the learning environment includes a set of support tools, your ability to interact with the instructor, your set of files, recorded videos, including recordings of class sessions that you may have missed. So if you do have to miss a live class on the weekend a few times, then you'll be able to catch up with those with the recordings. There is a requirement to attend a certain percentage of the live classes in person. So you have to commit to being able to do that program. You also have access to Simplilearn support staff who can help you with either the course material or with technical issues if you have any difficulty using the platform. So all of that is available to you 24/7. That means that other than the scheduled times for the live classes, you can do all of the work on your own schedule at whatever time you have available. So talk about the curriculum and how it's built up. It begins with an orientation session that gets you oriented to what you're going to learn and how to use the learning management system. And then it takes you through the basic steps of introduction to artificial intelligence, and then getting familiar with the Python language, Python for data science, and then applications of Python in data science. And then it moves into the machine learning modules that take you into machine learning and then deeper into the topics of machine learning, including machine vision and deep learning. After you finish those 6 core courses, after the orientation session, there are 6 core courses, and then you can move into the Capstone Project. Again, about a 3 to 4 week effort with your instructor as a mentor, taking you through a live industry application, creating your own solution. And then upon the successful completion of the capstone, it's evaluated as deserving merit. Then you get your certificate from Caltech. Along the way, you have the ability to take various electives, which are at no additional cost, which you can take based on your time availability and your level of interest. So you can go deeper into statistics for data science. You can go into natural language processing and speech recognition. Look at reinforcement learning. And then you have a series of Caltech masterclasses that are taught by the instructors from Caltech CTME and delve into deeper topics of what's going on in the industry and what new areas are emerging in AI and ML. There's also as we mentioned before, the IBM AMAs and master classes that you have access to, especially around the Python modules. And so this curriculum takes you, as I said, step by step towards mastery of AI and ML. Along the way, you learn how to use, and you actually use, various tools and platforms. At PlotLib, the Numpy library, various other tools for machine learning like Keras and TensorFlow, all of these you get hands-on experience with. You do the labs and projects using the tools. Tools are made available to you through the learning management system, so you don't have to search for and download anything else. This gives you real, practical, hands-on experience with these tools and platforms, so that when you put on your CV, yes, I've used Django and Keras and TensorFlow, you can back that up with examples of the work you've done with them. And then one last word about the Capstone projects again. So the Capstone project, you get to choose a real life industry problem to solve. Something that you would expect to be given by an employer when you're employed as a AI and ML engineer or developer. You can choose it from different industry domains like e-commerce or entertainment, that type of thing. But you then get to design and implement your solution. You have your instructor meeting with you weekly to review your progress, make sure you don't get into any dead ends, keep you on track. And then at the end, you show off this project. It's evaluated as your final project in the bootcamp, and it's what earns you that final certificate because it demonstrates your mastery of all of the topics and skills that you covered in the bootcamp. So if you can do this capstone project, that's an excellent indicator that you have mastered the material and can do the work in the real world. So it's really a great aspect of the program, but also gives you something that you can show off the future employers because it goes into your Git portfolio so that you're able to take it with you after the end of the boot camp. Mike's colleague, Rick Hefner, is the global program advisor he's the program advisor. He happens to be the head of Caltech CTME. And so with folks like Mike and Rick and the other instructors and subject matter experts, this program gives you the benefit of the Caltech CTME infrastructure and expertise. Talk a little bit about learner outcomes here. So people come into this program from a bunch of different angles. It doesn't all come from information technology or software development. Manufacturing, people like Boeing, pharma, healthcare, all of the different sectors of the economy and the industry need to deal with the flood of data from an increasingly digital world, which means they need automated tools using artificial intelligence and machine learning to handle that data. So you're going to be in this program with peers who are employed by a wide variety of different organizations around the world, and you'll get to pick up what's going on in their industries and their sectors, and it'll be a great way to create networking. We have several reviews from learners. These are available on the website for the program for the bootcamp, so I'm not going to read them to you, but the reviews do talk about how you can start from a very basic understanding and go all the way into the depths of, like Sherlinder says, deep learning and TensorFlow. And so I'll give you the URL for the course page so that you can see some of these. And then I would like to talk about Career Assist service, which is important because presumably you're all interested in developing AI and ML skills mastery so that you can pursue new avenues in your career. Some of you may be doing that for your current employer. Some of you may be looking to start a new career or change employers. What Simplilearn offers is a set of services for learners in the U.S. This is U.S. specific, and it gives you access to ongoing continuing education opportunities with Simplilearn. It also builds up your portfolio with the Capstone Project and other projects that you do in the bootcamp. But there's also specific job assist services through Talent Inc. Talent Inc. offers a three-part set of services. The first is access to a job portal, which gives you a kind of a private environment to look at sets of jobs and apply for those without revealing yourself in the public domain through other platforms like Indeed or Dice might do. So you get to look at a wide range of jobs coming in and do it in a confidential manner. For your resume, this is extremely important because in today's world, most resumes go through an automated AI bot that does your first evaluation of the resume and matches it to the requirements set up by the employer in the job description. So you need to have your resume in a format that actually fits with that process and will get past that automated system. Understanding how to format the resume, how to create different sections of it, and what types of wording will get you through that process, critically important. And so that gets you 2 rounds of rewriting your resume with a professional to make it compatible with the AI pre-screening and attractive to the humans who will see it thereafter. Finally, one-on-one interview service, which is important for anybody, whether they're looking for a new job or not. If you're looking to get promoted, you're going to go through a series of interviews as well internally. And if you're looking to get a new job, you'll go through a series of interviews with even more layers. Every job change requires more than one interview round with people who are going to be evaluating your technical skills and evaluating your team fit with their organization. And the interview prep allows you to put your best foot forward in both of those environments. You get to practice what it's like to be questioned about technical issues, subject matter, but also what it's like to be interviewed about soft skills and cultural fit. So this is a valuable aspect of the service, regardless of whether you're changing careers or looking to get promoted. So with that, I'm going to talk about the ongoing series of webinars that we do Today's webinar is a program preview, and it's specific to one of the Caltech programs that we offer. Simplilearn as an organization also does a series of free webinars that cover technology topics, overviews of the industry, masterclass examples of deep dives into a particular technology or lab exercise. We also cover job search techniques, cover how to care and feed your career as a whole, and how to keep your career on track. So all of these things are available to you as Simplilearn Caltech alumni. And then we talk about the projects. So projects within this course, and then you can also review these on the website for the bootcamp. But these are the types of domains that you'll be working in and developing projects in: social media, e-commerce, manufacturing, ed tech, and healthcare are different examples of domains and live industry aligned problems that you'll have the opportunity to create the solution for. So again, this is how you build up a portfolio that you can then show off and say, I have done this work. I have hands-on experience in AI and machine learning. Confidence that I can do it for you as my employer. So with that, I am going to ask one more question. Based on what Mike has shared with you and what I just described, are you interested at this point in enrolling in this bootcamp? And if you're watching on the streaming audience, go ahead and put an answer into your chat or comment box. Keep this open for another 10 seconds. Close the poll now. So 3/4 of our audience are interested in enrolling in this bootcamp, which is very gratifying. So I'm going to share with you the actual process of enrollment. The steps are very straightforward. You basically submit an application through askus@simplilearn.net. So right after this webinar, if you send an email to askus@simplilearn.net, you'll be able to get instructions on what to submit for your application. After that, Caltech and Simplilearn will both review that application to make sure that you have the qualifications, the aptitude to succeed in this program. And then we'll send you an admission letter if your application is accepted. We'll talk about the next upcoming cohort. Now, cohorts start periodically. The next one happens to be coming up in a week. October 13th is the welcome session. The classes start on the weekend of October 29th. And the cost of this program is a U.S. audience program, $8,000. You can enroll from other countries, but the price will be the same. It can be financed at $704 a month. That's zero interest financing. As Mike mentioned, many employers offer tuition reimbursement. If this is something that applies to your current position or something that will help you move up within your employer company, you can ask your employer about their policies on tuition reimbursement, whether they will pay for the course or whether they will reimburse you for the course once you've completed it. Very important to know. And if you hurry, if you want to sign up for the cohort where the welcome session is October 13th and the classes start October 29th, There is an incentive. We would ask you to ask the folks that ask us at Simplilearn.net about the incentive for signing up for the October 13th cohort of the AI and ML Bootcamp. And they will let you know what your bonus is for attending this live preview today. So recommend that you make that, send that email right after the session here, get the information, and see if this is the right program for you. So we've reached the point now where we can do questions and answers, and I am going to stop sharing the screen so that Mike and I can take your questions.
I tried to answer some of these along the way while you were speaking, Stuart.
Excellent. So you can give me a guide to see which ones
I just might
have.
make up stuff. And
yeah, well, no. So I'm going to take a couple of them that I've seen here. We have a question from Alejandro that says, can the program be customized somehow? And the answer to that, Alejandro, is that the customization would be in what electives you take. You do have to take the core courses in order to earn the bootcamp certificate. So you can't deviate from that. But you can do the work on your own schedule. So that's another level of customization. But you do have to, some things are standard, like attending the classes. We have.
Yeah, then part of Alejandro's question was if you're adding on technical components, like there's another package that I want to understand. I'm doing some agile releasing and I need to understand that a little bit more. That's one thing. And like what Stuart said is you can add those on separately. If you're going to try to customize to take the program in a different direction, then we need to talk about that because that's not how the program's designed.
Yeah, we've had people ask in the past about taking it at an accelerated rate and maybe doing 2 courses at once or that type of thing. And that's not a practical way to take this program. You do have to kind of follow the sequence in order to make sure that you get the material in the right sequence and master it so that you can move on to the next course. Aaron asked,
if you're a Python whiz, you can definitely accelerate those things, but if it's brand new, don't try to plow through. When
are the classrooms hosted? Generally, as I mentioned, Saturdays and Sundays, 4 hours each day, as the live class schedule. Prem asked, what percentage of attendees pass the course? Our general pass rate with our bootcamp programs is well over 90%. We're very proud of that. The reason for that is that we are very upfront with your expectations about what your commitment is to the time that you have to put into the program. And then the learning management system does certain things like remind you if you have missed a class or remind you if you have an upcoming project that's due. It will send prompts to you. It may send reminders to your instructor to let them know to talk with you and help you get back on track. So the way we designed the program and the learning management platform is to maximize completion rate and satisfaction with the program, because if you don't complete the boot camp and get the result that you want, then you're not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy because we will have created a degree in global education. That's how this program this month from Eric. The cohorts tend to start maybe every 2 months. So you'll be able to check and send the question to ask us at Simplilearn.net. They will be able to give you more complete course schedule on the website, which I will put into the chat right now. There are the next two cohorts, including this current coming one and the one after. So let me put that into the chat for you. You can, here we go. There you have the email address as well as the URL for the course page. Talked about the cost and duration. What percentage of students advance to a career in AI and ML? You can ask us Simplilearn.net about the placement success. Again, this is not a job guarantee program. We offer you career assistance to help maximize your likelihood of getting a job. We don't guarantee that you will. But again, with a high rate of program completion, and with the demand for professionals in the industry, the placement rate is very good. So they do have statistics on that. I'm not seeing any other questions. Mike, have you seen other questions that you want to address right now?
You know, to go back to this one of when people complete the program. So the lectures will stop at a certain day, right? But this idea is the end of the program, you still have time to complete a project. You're working on your capstone, you're documenting it, you're putting it together to be able to show off in GitHub. You might be making some ancillary kind of presentations about it. And you want all that to work. You're still going to get reviews on that. So when I look at when people complete the program, some might get it all done within 5 months. Some, you know, it ends at 6 months, but they need like extra weeks. There's not an end real cutoff time. I've had some people spend about a year on their program, but we are really trying to set you up for success, and you have access to the instructor, the TAs, 24/7 support on the platform. We want you to succeed, and so people, you know, finish all their requirements and everything at different times. Almost like when I look at it, it's like rolling dates almost. So hopefully that kind of flexibility is something that you need. We believe you do, and you know what we've seen over the last few years with COVID and either people still working at home or people trying to change. You know, you have demands in your life that require flexibility, and we're trying to bring that to you.
Right. And also, you reminded me to mention that talk about the Career Assist service, which wouldn't be all that useful if it started on day one and ended when you got your certificate. It actually extends for 6 months after you earn your certificate from the bootcamp. So you have access to those Career Assist services, including the resume and job board and interview prep, for that extra 6 months when you actually got your certificate and your capstone project in hand and ready to show it off. Got that help to get you out in front of employers and put your best foot forward. So I did want to mention that so you can feel confident that you are supported in your job search for an extended period after the end of the boot camp. And I think with that, that all the questions we happen to have in at the moment, let me double check if there's any that have come in. Haven't seen any from our online audience, so I'll go ahead and ask the final poll question, if I may. Did you want to add anything, Mike?
Nope, go ahead.
Wrong window. Okay. You want to skip ahead a little bit. Yeah. So the last poll question. Now that you heard the full story, and if you are interested in joining, enrolling for the program, when would you like to do that? Something that you want to do for that October cohort? Something that you might want to do in the one after that? Or is it something that you look at more long-term? We always say that if this is something that's going to improve your life and your career, why not do it right away? So, sure. And we'll close the poll. The result is 40% of the folks in our audience are interested in joining immediately. Again, when you email, ask us at simplylearn.net, ask about the incentive for joining the October cohort. We have 25% who say that they'd like to do this within 3 months. So maybe the next cohort after October, and the rest are looking at longer term. Be assured that the program will be available to you whenever you are ready to take that step. So we certainly want to welcome you into the learning community with Caltech and Simplilearn. And I want to thank you very much for being here. I want to thank Mike for taking us through the program and sharing with us the Caltech perspective. I will do one last entry into the chat box of the URL and the email address. There it is. Just so that you have that available. And with that, thank you all very much. Email us at askus@simplylearn.net for more information. And we thank you for being here. That concludes this webinar. So have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody. Stuart, thank you.
Thank you, Mike.